the rise and fall of the King Super Speedway. This is most of the magazines that I've collected that has anything pertaining to the Speedway or the hobby shop. And a lot of people are curious. I've even still get questions about the track. The people that are seeing some of my older videos, they're asking when they can come run, if it's still running. But unfortunately, it no longer exists. You'll see a little clip at the end of this video of the current state in 2023 of the Speedway. But anyway, this was 1990 RC Model Car Magazine. It was a year that Chris Dosek won the World Championships. It's a neat feature on his car in the race. But anyway, this was the first featured race for the Speedway. It was before the walls were painted, before the aprons were painted. And a little bit of the backstory on the track was in 1990, Paul Covington, the builder of the Speedway, they ran the Roar Oval Nationals in Georgia at the Peach Bowl. And he was telling everybody when he got back to North Carolina that he was going to build a Speedway, and nobody really believed him until it was within a few weeks of him coming back from the Nationals that they started breaking ground. And this was the first race officially on the Speedway in July of 1990. And that started the ball rolling. Oval racing was huge. Concrete tracks were popping up all over the country. Cap tires were the thing. And then we moved on to 1991. From the Nationals being in Georgia in 1990, in 1991, King got awarded the Roar Paved Oval Nationals. And there's my mullet and my dad right beside me with the giant video camera. That was our one claim to fame, I guess, because I did not do good at this race. I believe that video is up on my earlier YouTube. That was the P main. Finally got my car sorted out after having a lot of bad luck through the heat races, and won the P main by about 3 or 4 laps. Not much to brag about. A lot of notable drivers here. Todd Putnam winning 12 scale stock. Chris Dosek was putting on a show in 12 scale modified. That video is up on my YouTube also, and that's probably my favorite video that I have that still gives me chills watching the pass on the backstretch. So go check that one out. Terry Rott winning the modified with a Bowlink LTO. And that came with a little bit of controversy. There was a little bit of a touch and, I guess, a bump and run at the end that Terry wasn't really involved in, but Chris Smith was leading the race. And in the last few seconds, got caught up with the back burner, and Terry went on to win the race. Then there was RC Motorsports Scene Premier Issue, featuring the 1991 Roar Paved Oval Nationals. A lot of good articles here. Makes me feel extremely old with all my magazines turning yellow, knowing that I was there during this event. And this 1990, I was here, and I was 16 years old, and I had that body and that radio. I've never ran it. It just sat in the parade of cars, and I still have it. Then we go to 1992. This is RC Super Speed magazine. I didn't really know about it even back then. I just happened to come across one on eBay with the King article in it. 1992 Roar Paved Oval Nationals. very cool to see the cars and the bodies, the technology back in the day. I raced some dirt oval back in the day. Then once I seen my first pan car, it was pretty much all I cared about for a long time. King Super Speedway was the apple of most magazines' eye back in the day. Lots of coverage. And it was a shame that I guess like anything, it just kind of comes and goes, but the oval trend kind of came and went. Paved oval anyways. And here are the 1992 RC Motorsports scene. King made the cover. King was also on one of the ads for Protoform. It was their cover photo for one of their ads for their bodies. Bow-link bodies were the body of choice back in the day, but Protoform came in strong. Dale Epp made some really cool, very detailed bodies back in the day. Well, up until this day. The concourse competition was always cool. And we go from 92, we're up to 1992. Super Speedway Shootout, the Shootout 2, the Super Speedway Shootout 1. There are some of my videos. The Domino's 500 was at the Super Speedway Shootout. And there's a few clips on my earlier videos from years ago that are on the channel. Kent Clausen's car. A lot of these names and these people were heroes because to some of the young guys like me at the time, I didn't have the budget to travel at a lot of the bigger races, and it was so awesome to have all these big names come to our local track, which our local track didn't take long before it was nationally known. Here's another RC car action, 1992 Roar paved oval national coverage. Seeing the names and the sponsors and the cars really brings back a bunch of memories. The Composite Craft Lynx 2 was my favorite car for the Speedway. The track was really smooth when it was first built, but that car soaked up any kind of bump. It's always neat to see some of the cars the guys would bring out, some of these prototype cars, hand-built cars. I believe Ty Putman's car was a scratch-built car. Been Woods Racing, I believe. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure. RC Car Action Shootout. And this is 93. Parade of Cars is always a big hit. It's very cool to see all the cars and the participation, paint jobs. And this year they ran a 1,000 lap enduro, and Tim was our local hero. And he was always fast, hard to beat. Whenever Tim showed up, it was you were probably racing for second. Some of the cars. And look at all the body post. Downforce. Cam's quick change motor. On the 1,000 lap race, running brush motors back in the day, brushes wouldn't quite last 1,000 laps. So, amongst the battery changes, they designed a quick change motor mount. I'm not sure how long they went before they swapped the motor, but they got pretty fast at it. And that was the hyperdrive car. The hyperdrive car was another good Speedway car. When it was right, it was fast. Very smooth. And then, not many people know that PC Hobbies and King Speedway also hosted Mid-Atlantic Gas Challenge with a lot of famous off-road names. There was a nitro off-road track just behind the parking lot from the Speedway. I don't think it ran very long. When we got permission to clean the track up in 2012, partially the driver stand was still somewhat there. It was rotted pretty bad. If you didn't know, you would never tell there was a racetrack there. Unfortunately, this article doesn't have a lot of good coverage. Not a lot of good pictures, and at some point it must have had a rain day. So I got into that red North Carolina mud. Let's see what else we got here. 1995 Roller Paved Oval Nationals, Competition Plus. Competition Plus was a magazine for the racers. Had a lot of good articles, not a lot of pictures. A lot of tech tips. Really good race coverage, but lacking on pictures. But they made up for it with their great articles. There's 1995. There's Mr. Chris Smith. Extra blurry. Then around 1997, my brother was living in King at the time, and he got some recognition. He's the artist in the family, and he was doing renderings of your car trackside. He wasn't racing at the time, but he would do a quick sketch of your car on the track in action, and it was pretty cool that it got featured in RC Car Action magazine in 1997. And it was right before the track was closed in 1998. And I'll post up some pictures, some short clips, and like I say, stay tuned. At the end, you will see the current state of the track, and a lot of people just don't realize the history of this place and how much it meant to so many people. And it was so cool, and makes you feel kind of special that we got to reopen it in 2012. And a lot of kids that weren't even born when the track was built have memories and stories to tell about the track. So anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for some clips and the outro. Thanks. Two out for the one. Dave Root for the one, Rick for the 2, out for the 5. King Super Speedway 2023. Going on 4 years since it's been closed. And it is still there, but it's under about 6 or 8 foot of dirt. Not much evidence of the track still being here other than our bathroom that was recently built right before we closed. Turn 1 and 2 light pole, and part of the original fence. Right there, we're in turn 2. It's a sad sight, but it just wasn't financially feasible to purchase the property. Gone but not forgotten. Yeah, if y'all are longtime racers, y'all know about the house back here, and it's still here. Still barely standing. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. We're trying to grow it. We'll have RC stuff, more mini truck stuff coming this month. So stay tuned. Thanks.